Welcome back to another episode of From Prison to the Streets. I'm Eric. I did some time in prison. A lot of time. And today we are going to be answering questions. This is a Q&A. So, thank you for your questions. I'm going to answer them. Here we go. Oh, wait. Quit that. We got to do the obligatory YouTuber. Be sure to like and subscribe. So pretend I just said that 50 times, and now let's get to the questions. Mark and Nancy Rogers. Mark and Nancy ask, what's my experience with Islam in prison? There are a lot of guys who go to the Muslim call out. I have a lot of friends who are Muslims, and I did a video on prison religion, and I talked about whether it's legit or not. Now, obviously, some people who go to the Muslim call out are very sincere in their faith, and some people aren't. But the guys that I hung out with were very sincere in their faith. They were engaged in classes and pretty positive activities, and they lived their lives by principles, and that means a lot to me. They were men who were upright, they were sincere, they didn't judge people, and they had a genuine care for others, and that's huge in my book. I had a buddy named Scott Bowie who was a facilitator for the JCs. He taught classes. My buddy Jabari Manning, he made music, and he was a rapper and made beats and stuff, and we made music together. And my buddy Nate Hill, another really good dude, and they were always out working out together. Sometimes I would jump in with them and get a few sets if they were using one of the machines that I needed to use. But really good guys, but for the most part non-violent, although every once in a while you will have somebody trying to use a religious call out as a gang thing, and that happens occasionally with a Muslim call out as it happens with other call outs. So thank you for the question, Mark and Nancy. I really appreciate it. My nephew, Walker Swanson, asked, what's prison like in general? It sucks. Everything around you is controlled by somebody else. They decide when you eat, what you eat, when you go to yard, when you get to shower, and how long you get to shower. You can't see your family. You're stuck in the same place. The beds suck. The food sucks. It all sucks. Prison sucks in general. That's the short answer to your question. Dinosaur, you asked a few really good questions, so here we go. Have I ever been on top of a 10,000 foot plus or 10,000 plus foot mountain? I think so. My father was a truck driver, and I went with him in the truck a lot. And we went all over the country. I've been through the Rockies. I've been to the Northwest. Pennsylvania has some pretty interesting mountains. And so I'm pretty sure I've been over 10,000 feet. I can't say that I've ever stood on the peak of a mountain, but I'm pretty sure I've been over 10,000 feet. Grammar stuff. Dinosaur also asks, are there any places or animals you want to see in person? Animals, not so much. I love dogs, but exotic animals aren't really my thing. Places, yes. My great-grandfather, Fritz Swanson, was from Sweden, as was my great-grandmother, Jennifer Gustafsson, and I would love to travel to Sweden. I have family history in Sweden, and I have friends in Norway, and I speak the language, so I would love to go there and check it out. I would love to delve into that culture. So absolutely, yeah. Would I go to Mars? And separate questions for whether I would go there on a one-way trip versus a round trip. I would definitely go on a round trip. I'm accustomed to being in confined spaces for long periods of time. I remember I saw a documentary on the Science Channel about how it's challenging psychologically for astronauts to be in a spacecraft for a long period of time. Okay, well, what is a better candidate for spending a long time in a confined space than somebody who's been in supermax or long-term segregation? You got guys that spend years on end in a 6x8 or a 12x8 cell. So I think that, yeah, absolutely, I could do that. I would enjoy it. I love science for a round trip. However, for a one-way trip, I would have to be going with some people that I really enjoyed. So that's conditional. Do you ever talk to your family? Another question from Dinosaur. Yes, but not as much as I should. And there's a reason for that. While I was in prison, I got distant from my family. I kind of lost that connection after my dad died, which was in 2009. My family didn't keep in contact with me very well. I didn't get a lot of letters. I didn't get a lot of visits, so I don't really have that connection with them. I know I could do something to change that, and I probably should take steps to correct that. It's difficult for me though, because I don't feel that emotional connection to them. We don't really have a relationship. My family and I don't really have animosity towards each other, but we haven't talked that much. And so building a relationship takes a lot of time and effort by all the parties involved, and we don't have that. And I know my family watches my videos. My brothers and, well, my brother and my sisters show interest in what I do, and they offer, support, and I appreciate that. But we could definitely have a better connection and a better relationship. So I need to work on that. Do I see anyone from prison? Yes, I do. My best friend, my cellie of 5 years from when I was in prison, lived in Wichita, and I went and saw him a couple of times. And sadly, I believe he's on his way back to prison. He was arrested earlier this week. It's one of the reasons why I didn't post many videos this last week. And it's sad to see him go back to prison. But yeah, I would go up and visit him periodically, and I probably saw him and talked to him on the phone more often than my own family. And, I love the guy, and I hate to see him in this situation. But I've seen other people from prison. I've run into guys when I've been in the city, and that's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's my short answer. Thank you for your questions, Dinosaur. I appreciate it. Solitary Individual asks, do I make music? And I replied to this comment as well, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more in depth. I learned how to play guitar while I was in prison. Prior to going to prison, I played the saxophone, I played jazz, and when I got to prison, I taught myself to play guitar, I taught myself to play the drums, the bass, keyboard, all of that good stuff. So yes, I play music. I've released 2 albums and a number of singles. However, the albums and a lot of the singles have very poor production quality because I was homeless at the time. I recorded my first 2 albums in motel rooms and in my car, so production quality wasn't that great. I had a 5-year-old laptop and free editing software and stuff like that. Production quality just wasn't there. I do have better equipment now, and I continue to plan on making music. I primarily make metal. However, I'm still new at this whole recording thing. In prison, we didn't have any recording equipment. We had, mics, and we had guitars and stuff, but all of the stuff that we did live. I've played live shows in prison. I've played live shows in the mental hospital, the mental health unit in Lansing. But I'm not used to recording and doing it all myself, so that's a big learning curve, so I'm still getting used to that. But I will have more music out. My band is called Chaos 14, although there's a lot of stuff out under my name, Eric E. Swanson. But be warned, the production quality is not good. But I make music because I like to do it. I don't make it to make money. Although I did try to go to making music full-time a while back. I got a loan and got some better equipment, and I was really going to try to market my music. And I'm also trying to make content for this channel, and neither make me money, but I love music, and I love helping people. So I've really made this channel a priority, even though I don't make money on it. It is important to me because it helps people, and that makes me feel good. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Kiba 96 Vodka asks, how many suicides happen in prison mental hospitals? A lot. I don't know the exact number, but I've seen people hang themselves, slice their own throat. That actually happened right above my cell one time. The blood was squirting out, then running off the top tier down in front of my cell. It was very brutal. It was very sad. The individual who committed suicide was a very young man, and that's no way to go. So it is a very high suicide rate. I don't know exactly what it is. Suicide rate for people who are just getting out of prison is also very high. People in long-term segregation, it's also very high. So that's a very real thing, and it sucks. I wish that was not the case. And Kiba 96 Vodka also asks, what are the odds that people who do get out after so long go back to prison? The recidivism rate in the United States, the last time I looked, was 66%, which means that 2 out of 3 people who get out of prison will go back within 3 years. And the rate was 85% for 10 years, meaning that people who get out of prison will, well, let me back up. 8 out of 10 people who get out of prison will go back within 10 years. So that sucks. It's a very high recidivism rate. Those statistics have been marginally impacted by the coronavirus because prisons don't want to have so many people in them. Overcrowding of prisons plus a pandemic, I mean, that's a bad thing. And there was a huge riot in Lansing, in the prison where I was before I got out, because of the coronavirus. And you can look that up on YouTube. Maybe I'll link it in the description. But that's a very real thing. So it sucks. But yeah. So that's that. And I think there was one other question that I wanted to address. Something that I get asked a lot is, what did I do while I was in prison with my time? I'm not going to put a name on this one because this has been asked multiple times. I took a lot of classes. I took self-help classes from the first year I was down until the time I got out. I was taking self-help classes. I went to college. I got a doctorate in religious education, several undergraduate degrees, and I have 3 graduate degrees, and a number of certifications. I did a lot with my time. So I was also involved with a nonprofit organization. I did that. I started out as a director and moved my way up to the business vice president. I did some actuarial science where I predicted trends in the market for our food stand that we had in Visitation. We had a food stand in Visitation where we sold food to the visitors that would come up, and that way the inmates and their family could have something good to eat while they were visiting each other. And I predicted what was going to sell on what days by the algorithms that I made. And so that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun. And I wrote programs that would track down inventory variance. If we did a count at the end of the day and we were missing food in the storeroom and we needed to figure out what happened to it, I had a formula for that. So that's what I did. I had a lot of fun with it. I love binary logic and Boolean logic. Very fun. And that's one of the many things I did. I worked out. I went to work. I trained dogs. I did electrical work. My time was very full. There are people that say prisoners have a lot of free time on their hands. You don't have to have a lot of free time. You can keep yourself very busy in prison, and I did keep myself very busy in prison. I read entire sections of the library, and yeah, I mean, my time was filled. So, but yeah, that's it for the questions. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you watching, and send me more questions. I'm planning on doing a live Q&A sometime in the near future. I am not up to speed on YouTube live streams, and I don't want to do one that is kind of crappy quality or is going to have a lot of bugs, so I'm getting everything worked out before I do that. And I'm going to have some more cool content I hope you guys will like. If you have ideas for future videos, just drop them in the comments. I love your feedback. I love interacting with you guys. And if you have a way you feel that I could improve my channel, I'm always open to new ideas. If you want to help out with the channel in any way, let me know. Hey, you guys are helping me make these videos. I couldn't do it without you. And this isn't my channel, this is our channel. So, I love you guys. I'm Eric. I'll see y'all later.